Today we're going to learn how to make HTTP requests using Gravio with data from sensors. What you need to have is you need to have installed the Gravio HubKit, and you need to have installed the Gravio Studio that connects to Gravio HubKit. You can install Gravio HubKit on your local machine, but you can also install it on a Raspberry Pi or on a Windows machine, a Linux machine, or of course if you have the Gravio Hub that comes with the HubKit inside. So first let's start Gravio Studio, assuming the Gravio HubKit is running in the background. So I'm going to my applications folder, and then I'm going to start Gravio Studio. If you don't have an account yet, you can create one here now. I already have one, so I'm going to just log in. And because I already have an account, I also have records of all the edge computers that I have connected to in the past. Now this one here is the one representing my local host and my local IP address. If I double click on it here, you can see this is the setup of the layers and the areas. But to get started, we want to actually create some actions that we can then trigger with the sensors. So we close that window again, and we open this action viewer or the action editor by clicking on this icon here in the middle. When we do that, just make it a bit smaller, we get a selection of actions. So you can see I already have 7 actions here, but we are going to create a new one, and we call it the HTTP request action. Now what we want to do is we want to see where these HTTP requests are going to. So we will need an endpoint. For this purpose, I can recommend a website called Request Bin. You just can go here to Request Bin. If you want to do anonymous or public requests, you don't need an account for this. You can just create a request bin here, and then this gives you here an endpoint. So let's copy this endpoint here. So now we have that in our memory, and we can start posting information to there. Here, what we want to do is we want to use the HTTP post component, and then we want to edit here where it makes a post. So we put the endpoint here. Oops, sorry. So then what we want to do is, for testing purpose, we just want to make a simple post request. JSON is fine. We don't want a query string. We just say, for example, foo bar. We don't even need authorization. Timeout is 30 seconds, that's fine. If we tick this box, the requests and the responses will be stored in a text file, that's mainly for debugging purposes. Now we can easily test if this works by clicking this button here to play the action. So what it does is, you can see here the post has come through, foo and bar. So if we basically change this here. Next one, here you go, that's the new one. So now what we can do is we can basically start getting sensor information and send that to this endpoint. So what we want to do for that is we need to concatenate this string with the variables that come from the sensors. So what we do here is, for example, sensor data, and then here we then put the variable here. But because we concatenate with double quotes, we need to escape these quotes here. this one here. And then we also need to put everything around double quotes. So this means this here can be a variable. Now, if we want to know what variables are available, we can press on this little green icon here, and this can give you the names, for example, of these are all the different variables that are available. Now, the different colors mean different types of variables. So this is a date, time, data is a string, ID is an integer. So what we do here is we use AV, which stands for action variable, and then we say data here, data. So data. That's the data that's coming from the sensor. Now, if we hit the play button here again, it will show 0. That's simply because I have not triggered this with a sensor, but actually with a play button here. So if you go back here, so if we close this now, what I will do in the next video is I show you how you can connect the sensor to the trigger, so the trigger will then call the action with the appropriate data.